Yo, officially an incinerator. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense, the live streams that we do here on the Alert Zone TV. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I hope everybody is having a great day wherever you are on this Saturday. Uh, it is a little bit warm out here. It's been as warm as it's been probably in the last 3 or 4 months up here in Iowa. Uh, you guys and girls might be able to see off the glare. The sun is beaming. All right, Dr. T. This is an impromptu live. I wanted to do this last night, but I was up watching a couple of other channels, and then I got up and I got busy and so what have you. So shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I hope you guys and girls become active citizens. Y'all already know how to do that. Since we are a worldwide movement, I did want to shout out Guanajuato. We do have people that have hit me in the comment sections from Guanajuato, Mexico, rocking my Guanajuato mug. You guys and girls know I have quite a cup collection. And today I'm drinking my favorite. No, they haven't endorsed me. They're not paying me to promote their product, but it's drink day. You guys and girls know I don't smoke or drink. This is, besides Coca-Cola, my drink of choice. So it's drink day. I got my ocean spray with me. I love my cranberry juice. And so hope everybody doing well. Um, Before we get started, I also want to say this. I know it's Super Bowl weekend. I shouldn't say this, damn it, but I'm going to say it. I'm not looking forward to that game tomorrow. I'm going to watch it. I'm not very excited. I don't think it's going to be a close game, but hey, you never know. I am going to have some meat on the grill. If I got to get enough people in the comments, whether that be live or that catch the replay, if enough people ask me, I'll go ahead on and do it live. I'll show you guys and girls me seasoning it up and getting it together in the smoke and then showing y'all the finished product and what have you. That's only if it's requested. If it's not requested, then I won't do that. Y'all know usually when I turn on my smoker, I'll show y'all a little bit. But like I said, hope everybody is doing good. Make sure you hit that likes button when you come up in here. Please, that is very important. Help GunTube out. You guys and girls know we are fighting YouTube and the algorithm. So, also, if you ever in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, no, they're not paying me to promote this, but if you ever in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, stop at the Action Figure Museum, especially if you Gen X or older. Back when we used to play with toys, go check them out. You guys and girls have seen me on this channel post small clips of me at the Action Figure Museum, but I think it's a very groovy place if you in the state of Oklahoma or if you coming through there. Go ahead on and stop out there in Pauls Valley. Show them some love. Yeah. Give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. Shout out to Eyes and Ears for this thing. I'm going to wash it out after I'm done with this one. Keep it clear. But yeah, I give everybody a minute to get up in here. We'll have a discussion. I was going to do this on a pre-recorded video, but I just decided let's go ahead on and do this one here live. Oh, dang you, Dexter. We got Dexter in the building. My day going good. Salute to you also. Salute to you, sir. Dexter Norman, one of the best and most encouraging people you ever want to meet. As I always say, that's what GunTube is about. People like him. He goes in everybody's video and posts positive messages. If you're a GunTuber, if you see Dexter Norman in your comment section, make sure you respond to him personally. That's a good brother there. So yeah. Like I said, I like the Action Figure Museum. Yeah, man, I appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to talk about understanding the rights, your Second Amendment rights. And this is, to me, something that is very, 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 very important. And I think some people look over it Um, because whatever their exposure to the Second Amendment is, look, you got to know the laws before you pick up a gun. And this is gonna go for criminals because criminals don't follow laws. For the law-abiding citizen, you got to know the law before you buy a firearm. You can't go out buying firearms on what you presume to be the law. And I'll tell you why I decided to have this discussion. So I had a video come across across my feed yesterday of this guy out in Thursday, I'm sorry, in the Kansas City, Missouri area. That's going to be going to trial for stretching a car burglar out. And this guy had went into this neighborhood and he was breaking in cars and, and this guy went out and confronted him and wound up putting him down. And what they're saying is, in the state of Missouri, under the law, you have absolutely 100% no right to defend property. That makes a difference because you have to understand where you live at. What state you live in determines, unfortunately, your Second Amendment rights statewide. This is why it's important to know this stuff. Everybody stand your ground law, and every state stand your ground castle doctrine. A lot of them are different. Oklahoma, to me, has the most direct and clear self-defense, home defense law that you can ask for. I mean, I went over it here. If you're new to this channel, go back and check that out. We got over 1,000 good, wonderful videos on this channel. Feel free to binge watch. But Oklahoma was very direct with their stand your ground, and I like that. The problem with the Second Amendment is we got too many vague laws out here. Oh yeah, Yeah, Steve, you live in Laredo. But understanding the law where you live, you got to get your feelings out of it when you get legally armed, and you got to think about the law. Now, your feelings don't matter if somebody kicking in your door. By all means, do what you need to do. But chasing people for property, some states allow it, some states don't. Some states are very technical. I'll give you an example. The state of Iowa, for a long time, if you had a garage that was not attached to your home and you saw somebody in your garage, if you were inside, you could not go out and confront them. You would be held liable. And if you killed them, you would go to jail for voluntary manslaughter. Finally, after enough of people having their things broken into and what have you, they finally changed the law. That makes a difference. You need to know all that. That's how technical this stuff is. In the state of Oklahoma, in the process of evicting somebody or trespassing somebody from your property, you are allowed to point a firearm at them all the way to the edge of your property. It is very, very specific. Now, what they tell you about standing your ground in public, if it comes out that you are the aggressor and they can prove it, you're going to jail. What I mean by the aggressor is you go start something with somebody and look for a reason to shoot them, and then you shoot them. I like that about Oklahoma. It's very, very direct. So you guys and girls got to understand something. If you're going to get legally armed, it starts up here first. Before up here. If you start here and then go here, you never know when something's going to happen. If you do that, you might be in trouble. So you don't ever want to do that. You don't ever want to think about basically you don't want to put yourself in a position where you go to jail over a technicality. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just understanding gun-free zones. You may not like them. Like New Orleans. The French Quarter. They made the French Quarter a gun-free zone. plus and a minus. The intention is to keep tourists safe. Problem. It ain't tourists that's down there robbing people. It's not the everyday citizen that's down there doing it. It's the criminal. So I don't like that. I don't like how they try and use some of these laws to be very vague. You guys and girls know I have been talking about the division in the Second Amendment community since I started this channel. I had people who told me they didn't agree with that up until these last couple incidents in Minneapolis, and kind of messaged me and let me know now what you said was the truth. Look, when it comes down to it, the Second Amendment, the law got to be absolute. We as a Second Amendment community have to be on one accord when it comes to the Second Amendment. We don't have to agree on everything. We need to agree that the Second Amendment shall not be infringed on. That's the part we got to stand on. And we got to put our personal dislikes or biases aside. And until we do that, we won't be able to achieve the ultimate goal. I told you guys the 3 goals: national reciprocity, national purchasing without having to go through getting a firearm shipped to you, and I'll be more direct. The power to be able to buy a firearm as long as you're able to be legally armed, no matter what state you're in, and not have to have it shipped to you. I can go from Iowa to Minnesota to Illinois to Texas to California and buy a gun without having to have it shipped to me. I can buy it right then and there as long as I present my permit and my credentials. And lastly, getting these restrictions moved, quote unquote assault weapons bans and all this stuff, which that one is going to be the hardest one to do just because it gives the Supreme Court a little bit of leverage. So yeah, the Supreme Court and the lower courts kind of feed off each other. The third one is be the hardest one to get. But if we can get the first 2, we'd be rolling. We'd be all right. So I want you guys and girls to think about that. Keep that in mind when it comes down to it. Knowing your rights. Also, when you're dealing with law enforcement, some places you have to let them know you're armed. I know people might say, I ain't telling them nothing. Look, I'm just telling you so you can avoid possibly being shot out here. You know what? Under the federal law, as far as I know, you can't legally carry in a commercial vehicle, especially a semi going state to state. There's people that still do it. My personal experience, for a while I did do it. At the Virginia, Tennessee line up there in Bristol. What's going on, Ronnie? At the Virginia and Tennessee line at Bristol, right there. Tennessee on the Interstate 81 going north. I got stopped by the police once. They searched my truck. They found the holster. I had taken the gun off the truck before I left on that trip, and yeah, I knew it was a crime, and they had let me know because I went across state lines. It was going to be a federal charge, and then the states could have charged me also, so I could have had state charges going across and federal. Like I said, some people carry them. I don't carry like I used to. Once in a blue moon, I might have something on me, but that's something that we trying to work on getting through. There's already a fight in DC about that. So we already have a group of people fighting for that, although I might join that fight and help and push that. But the things I think that we can get past first, I want to get those. National reciprocity. Like I said, Donald Trump put his foot in his mouth. This is the time for us to take advantage of it and get national reciprocity on there. I have 2A freedom, but mine have an asterisk next to it. I know that. That I do know. I know I don't have the same privileges as other people. My privileges are very strategic, which is why I always caution people like this. You your own man, you your own woman. You do what you think is best for you. When it comes to me being legally armed and I'm going to deal with law enforcement, I want to make that encounter as short as I can. The quicker I can get out of there, the better. The longer I'm there, the more potential there is for something to happen, because the longer you there, you make officers start fishing. And they start fishing. And if they can't find nothing, they want to see if they can get you hyped up so they can look for something to take you down for. So yeah, look, like I was finna say, some states, you have to let law enforcement know when they stop you that you have a firearm on you. You need to know that. You need to know if your state requires that. People might tell you, you don't have a duty. The hell you don't. A lot of these state laws, let me explain something to y'all. While we looking to the left, everything else is coming from the right. Slowly and slowly, they're putting things in place to erode certain rights or to basically give them rights to do other things. People say you don't have to identify yourself if you haven't committed a crime. That's bullshit. I know for a fact in the state of Louisiana, when I was 17 and the police stopped me, I asked him, what you stopping me for? He said, I'm stopping you because I'm checking you for ID and this and that. And I told him he was violating my rights. He said, you don't got no right to that. I have a right to ask you for your ID. I told him, being a smart ass, ain't no laws on the book, show me. And he showed me. And ever since then, I've kept my ID with me. Period, point blank. At the end of the day, Joe Biden, for those of you who don't know, the law enforcement down there, I'll get to that in a minute. For those of you who don't know, Joe Biden sent his Solicitor General to the Supreme Court to argue against punishment against police officers for violating your Miranda rights. For those of you who like to talk about the left, what the left ain't, the left and the right is, they more cohesive than you think they are. It's more bipartisan than you think they are. He was a Democrat, and yet he sent his Inspector General to argue that if your Miranda rights or your rights under the law is violated, you can't sue or go after criminal charges on law enforcement. That was Joe Biden that went to the Supreme Court to help get that through. So it's just things like that you need to know. Like I said, as far as having the guns taken from you, most people EDC, yep, red and blue wings are the same, on the same bird. Same bird. Most EDC, people that EDC, don't EDC their most expensive or their most rarest firearms. They might carry it once in a blue moon, but most people EDC a gun that you can buy anywhere. Because of law enforcement, when it comes to the ones who will confiscate your gun and take it from you. Like I said, the Beretta 92. I will never, because it's on my list of guns to get, I'll never take it to Louisiana. I don't trust Louisiana cops, but in particular, NOPD, I watched them when I was a young kid. At Beretta come out with that 92, I watched them, how they would take them from people. And then they would go to the police station to get them, and they would say, ain't no gun here. I watched all that, so nah. There's certain guns I don't carry for that reason. Certain guns I carry because I'm going to the range and back, or if I have that particular firearm, it's because I'm somewhere where I'm pretty confident I'm not gonna have any run-ins with law enforcement. But as far as my EDC, I can't even imagine how bad they are in New York. Hey, I'll get to New York in just a second. Since we just having this discussion, we'll just have this discussion and we'll see where it goes. But I don't trust NOPD. Most people that EDC, with that money. But most people EDC and their home defense is a gun that when law enforcement takes it, they can go get another one. You very seldomly see somebody telling you they EDC is a damn Staccato or a damn Atlas or something like that. One of them $6,000-$7,000 guns. Most people don't EDC that type of stuff. Glock, so they'll get something that you can find. But speaking of New York, For those of you who never been to New York City, all right, William, we got Gun Freak Nation in the building. For those of you who never been to New York City, I've had limited interaction with law enforcement, and let me tell you something. Them jokers are nasty. Most of my interactions has been out in Nassau and Suffolk County on Long Island out there on the 495. Yeah, they're a different type of stupid over there in New York. I ain't even gonna get on the boroughs and all that, how silly law enforcement is, especially when it comes to firearms over there. With that being said, you still got to know what the laws are. Dr. T know what I'm talking about. If you've never crossed the GW, if you've never crossed the Throsnet, if you've never crossed the Goethals, the Verrazano, Brooklyn, Queensbridge, the Lincoln Tunnel, if you've never been through none of these places, the Brooklyn Queens Expressway, the Cross Bronx, yeah, the Long Island Expressway, boy, TV don't do it no justice. I'm going to just leave it like that. I ain't even going to go into this long rant about law enforcement. But you guys and girls got to understand what the laws are, and you also have to understand something. It's better to fight in court than it is on the side of the road. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Just like law enforcement don't know who they pulling over, you don't know who's stopping you. Sometimes it's just not worth it to argue with these people at the gas station or on the side of the road because 10 other people out there screaming and yelling, or you got the phone in their face. Sometimes that's not the smartest thing to do. Especially when you know they're fishing for something. Okay. Yeah. Another thing I advise. This is my personal opinion from my experiences. Once they know you got a firearm in the car, they ask you for something, don't reach. No, you tell them, look, I feel more comfortable if you get it. You just have to be careful. You just don't never know. The assumption when you get stopped is that you're going to live another day. But sometimes assumption is not always reality. For me, I try and check the temperature of the officer. Because I have been stopped a couple times for a traffic stop, and it was really quick. They checked this, and that, and they let me go. Once I got a ticket like a year or two ago. I got a speeding ticket. And I knew I was actually speeding. And it was real quick. I don't think he walked up. He told me what he clocked me at. I didn't argue with him. I gave him my license, the insurance agreement and all that. He wrote my ticket, came back, I signed it. I don't think we was on the side of the road 5 minutes. And I was gone. So, yeah, you're right about that. So you just have to, you're right about that, William. So I just say for us, I'm only speaking to the Second Amendment community and law-abiding citizens who want to make this easy. It's frustrating sometimes, but you know what? Don't let your frustration get you locked up or sent to the cemetery. Make the stop as quick as possible, especially if you're legally armed. Look, driver license, registration, insurance. You were speeding. You ran that stop sign. No, I didn't. I saw you run a stop. Okay. Sign your ticket and go about your business. You don't even have to ask their badge number. It's right there on the ticket. Sign your ticket. All the information is on there. You want to make a complaint? Do it that way. Don't start doing all this shit, putting the phone in their faces. I'm recording you. Look, man, sometimes it's just not worth it. Don't matter how right you are. Being right don't always bring you back to life. For people who die, We've seen the videos throughout the years of people being in the right and still got shot. But being in the right didn't bring them back to life. Sometimes you gotta live and let live. You know what I'm saying? I know it can be, listen, I can go on and on about that, but I'm gonna change the subject. I'm gonna change the subject. I can go on and on about that. But yeah, just knowing your rights, knowing what you can and can't carry, knowing where you can carry, knowing if you got restrictions on what you can have, can't have. Shout out to Dr. T. She been in the chat room, like she said about the hollow points being illegal in New Jersey, I think. Most of us don't know that. I watched about 2 years ago. I watched a little series, little investigation about how many people that have went to New York and went to jail for a firearm, even celebrities that's so used to carrying, and they just happened to show up in New York and got stopped and they had a firearm on them. And they said, shit, I forgot I had it. Well, imagine being somewhere where you can have a firearm but having ammunition that's illegal. And I never thought that was a thing until Dr. T pointed that out to me. I was always more fixated on the type of firearm than the ammunition. Now, I know in most places, I think black talons is illegal, or you can't find them. But just something as simple as that. You know, that's why it's good to know. That's why it's good to come to GunTube. When you come to GunTube, especially if you knew the firearms. Yep. Oh, I can't call it. Especially if you knew the firearm. Tactics Skillionaire in the building. What's going on? If you knew the firearms, you can't just buy a gun and everything you do is yep. Everything you do is watching videos of people shooting when you don't really know the law. Stop letting your loudmouth friends who don't have no gun, who don't know shit, put you in a position where you can use your rights. Stop letting people do you that. I think it's valuable for all of us, law-abiding citizens. If you're going to binge watch GunTube, here and there, watch some of the videos that's about the different laws. You don't have to watch somebody who's going to sound like an encyclopedia. But try and keep up on the laws. Everything can't always be shooting because the laws constantly change. If we got anybody in here from Virginia, shout out to y'all. I'm keeping my eye on Virginia, what's going on, because, yeah, Virginia seems like it's going to be one of these places like Illinois, where half my arsenal is going to be fucking illegal. You know what I mean? So I'm keeping my eye on y'all. If you're new to the channel, yeah, Virginia going through it. Think about this also. I didn't know this. I just found this out this election cycle. In Virginia, you can't be governor back to back. So this Spanberger lady, no, she doesn't have to get reelected right away. So she can get through anything that she thinks she can get through. And yeah, man, I'm watching Virginia really closely because it's setting up. Illinois and California had already set the precedent. You know what? Yeah, it don't make sense that law enforcement don't follow the law. I don't like it, but my job is to keep you safe. That's my job. As I told you guys and girls, excuse me, I've reached out to a couple of politicians here in the state of Iowa. I'm working on getting with politicians in the surrounding states behind closed doors. I'm really trying to get this national reciprocity thing. Yeah, man. I mean, it's getting to a point, like I said, we're going to have to get this on a national level. And because we haven't got it on the national level, because let's be honest, the national spokespeople for the Second Amendment, a lot of them believe in that asterisk. And that's why it's been hard to get something nationally. A lot of them believe in that. I don't know. I ended up in your feed maybe because I'm a good channel. Might as well just come on and hang out with me. But because they understand the unity in the Second Amendment, we've let as Second Amendment people that practice the Second Amendment, we've gotten so caught up into politics that we forgot to get caught up in the policies. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Make sure you sub to the channel too and give me a like that I came up on your feed. We've gotten so stuck into red and blue, but we haven't gotten stuck into the policy. I don't give a damn. All right, we got 313 Mag Dump in here. I don't give a damn if it's the Republicans or wow. I don't give a damn if it's the Republicans or the Democrats, damn it. Whoever gonna give us what we need, that's who gonna get our support. For the people who are not gonna give us what we need, they not gonna get our support. It's just that simple. We gotta put our differences aside and come together to get these laws on a national basis, but we need to get them through where they can't be repealed. Because it does no good to get this law passed and then the next president come by and repeal it. We don't want no executive. We don't want no executive orders because that can be repealed by the next president. We want this enshrined into law so not even the Supreme Court can mess with it. Because I keep telling you guys and girls who will listen to me with this and not this. The Republicans got a super majority. They can get anything through they want. Get anything through they want. And yet they've allowed these damn assault weapons bans to still stand. Also, Virginia, something else. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, I'm going to respond to that California comment in just a second. I was saying that Virginia, something else that I thought about. Maryland has an assault weapon ban, and y'all neighbors. Virginia was already watching, okay? Because for those of you who don't know, the Supreme Court upheld Maryland's assault weapons ban. That stupid assault weapon magazine capacity ban. So Virginia said, okay, since we connected to DC, that's a precedent. So it's more likely they're going to get some of these damn strenuous laws pushed through. Now, as far as California and Gavin Newsom is not against the Second Amendment. Gavin Newsom is against certain people practicing the Second Amendment. Let's just go ahead on. That's how all this damn stupid gun control in the modern day era got started. Right out there in California. For the same shit. Ronald Reagan didn't want to see a group of people being, Maryland been had an assault weapon ban, but I'm saying it went up to the Supreme Court because it got challenged. And they upheld it. But yeah, Gavin Newsom, California been made it clear whose gun rights they're against. You can tell who grew up in the suburbs. So you must be new to my channel. You must be new to my channel. Hell, I got pictures of me in the damn projects. I didn't grow up in the suburbs, which nothing is wrong with that. I'm born and raised New Orleans, Central City, Uptown. I wish I would have had the privilege to be grown up in the suburbs. But yeah. So like I said, I'm not gonna tell you I know all the gun laws in the country. Pittsburgh, Pencil. That's what they call Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh. Yeah, you trolling now. I hear you. Oh, okay. Oh man, somebody in here trolling. Somebody in here trolling. Look, as long as you're gonna hit the like button, you're welcome to come in here and troll me. Help us get in the algorithm. Um, yeah, you know what? In Iowa, I think is what $25 to renew our $25 to renew. Was every 5 years up here we renew. Like I said, I keep my permit up here just because I don't know when I'm gonna travel. Ain't me, real thugs burning incense. Shit. Number one, I never said I was a thug, but number two, apparently you don't know nothing about no hood, because that's where incense burning come from. Shit, that's the whole thing about it, especially back in the day. Every damn person you know in the hood, well, after they clean the house, lit incense. That's good, though. Look, I'm glad you're here hanging out with me. You could be doing something else, but you're hanging out with us, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I know, buddy trolling. You know what? I'm really going to work on that, trying to set up this mod thing. I'm going to have somebody show me. Dr. T, I'm going to reach out to you later so you can show me how to set up this mod thing. But nevertheless, like I was saying, I've been keeping my eyes on different states because I think like even Hawaii going through something right now. Now, I know Hawaii is like off the mainland. But my understanding is Hawaii going through a lot as far as the Second Amendment rights and what have you. Yeah, 5-0. Hawaii 5-0. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was watching it. You know, like I said, I try and keep my eye on, because people got to understand this. When a precedent is set, you know, sometimes people here in Michigan, they are reducing our CPL renewal is going from 115. Okay, that's good. That's good. All these different states watch to see what's the precedent that's laid. And once they see a precedent, they see how they can pounce on it. Now, like I said, another thing that I advise you, if you live in one of these states, no matter what 50 states you live in, even if y'all a blood red state and y'all got freedom gun laws, do like we did in the state of Iowa. Get it put on the ballot and get enshrined into the state constitution. Excuse me. That way you don't have to worry about it coming up no more. Here in the state of Iowa, we got our Second Amendment enshrined into we got our Second Amendment enshrined into the law here, so we ain't got to worry about, you know, if somebody come in and become an administration come in that's anti-Second Amendment or that's really after, our rights already protected. And we made sure to get it on the ballot that we can have basically everything except automatic rifles. You know what I mean? And that's because that's federally banned and we can't get that through. But anything else, AKs, ARs, M1s, whatever you name, drums, extended mags, whatever you, 1,000-round clip, if it holds 1,000 rounds, you can have all that. And the state can't do nothing to repeal that. So that's another thing that, especially since the channel is growing, I'm going to work on doing. Like I said, I got a little list of things that I'm making. I've been making some phone calls and what have you. Went from 10 to 175. Yeah. Okay, Philly finally got the right. Okay, Pennsylvania. Was it the state of Pennsylvania or was it Philly in particular? Because you know what? Philadelphia reminds me of New York. I mean, the state of Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. It reminds me of the state. Okay. Philadelphia. So look, like for those of you who never been New York City and upstate New York is like night and day. Pennsylvania is Philadelphia in the east, Pittsburgh in the west, and damn Alabama in the middle. Pennsylvania is one of them weird places. Okay, yeah, man, Philly is almost like on an island to itself when it comes to the state of Pennsylvania. It's like being you in Pennsylvania, but you're not. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. He can make federal gun laws like whatever he want. I ain't worried about that. Ain't gonna stop me. The state of Iowa gonna back me up. It ain't gonna stop me. Cause we could use states' rights then. So I ain't tripping. But yeah, for like I said, so for Philadelphia, I guess Philadelphia to Pennsylvania is like what Chicago is to Illinois. Like for those of you who never been to Illinois, Chicago is like on an island by itself in the sense of it's totally different from the rest of the state. Philly, like I said, Philly. I used to go down there on off Broadway down there. Under the Walt Whitman Bridge, there's a place, I don't know if it's still there, called Ashland Chemical. I used to take methacrylic acid up there. And when you turn up under the bridge, they got that little cafe right there that I used to get grits I used to take my sons with me. And they used to get them cheesesteaks. And downtown, like by all the stadiums and all that, I used to take tomatoes and stuff up there. When you leave Philly and you start heading west on 76, once you get out of the Philly area, the metro area, the rest of the state of Pennsylvania is mountainous, and it's like you in a whole different place. Yeah, it's like a whole different place until you get to Pittsburgh. And then once you get to Pittsburgh kind of remind me of Charleston. Well, back in the days. It might be different now. Please don't get upset with me, people. Pittsburgh kind of remind me of Charleston, West Virginia. And you can see the old steel mills and stuff that had been abandoned. Kind of like Charleston. If you go to Charleston, West Virginia, you can tell Charleston is an old town. Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, man. Schittsburg. Yeah, okay. The new gun laws. Okay. But yeah, I was yeah, man, like I said, Michigan. I've been all over Michigan. For people who never been to Michigan, it's a long ride to the top of the state. Like when you start going up, shit. Like through Muskogee and all that, when you go to northern Michigan, it's a long ride up there. It's a long ride up there. Yeah, man. So, Detroit, Grand Rapids, Ypsilanti, Lansing, all those places. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So just knowing, like I said, sometimes some of these states, their gun laws is affected by their big city. Luckily, in the state of Louisiana, growing up in New Orleans, we didn't affect nobody's gun laws, and they didn't say what you could have in the rest of the state and exclude us. Because, of course, the city of New Orleans is not nearly as big as a lot of these cities was. Not as really as big as a lot of these other cities are. So, yeah. Dr. T was the one who first told me about that. I didn't even know that you couldn't have Hollow Point. Just stuff like that, man. That stuff is just good to know. That's why I like to do these live streams. But besides doing that, even before I started doing content, when I started watching GunTube, I would read the comment sections. I learned a lot from a lot of different people, and that's a good thing. So I always thought about, you got to know the laws just as much as you know your firearms. And I think sometimes, especially before GunTube, a lot of people lost their rights because really, besides picking up a book and doing a bunch of dry reading, most people didn't take the step to finding out their laws. Well, with GunTube, it gave you something to go by. Yeah, we learn from each other. So with GunTube, you guys and girls can tell me things and laws and places that you live that's changed, that's been changed, and update me just like I can do the same. I try my best to kind of keep up nationally. Now, look, I'm not like some of these other channels where I'm going to get very technical and that I can tell you everything. I just try and give you a general overview and send you where you can go. I'm a little bit more involved here in Iowa because when I first moved to Iowa, all right, we got White Rambo in here. Shout out to you. When I first moved to Iowa, you had to have a permit to buy firearms here. You couldn't just buy a firearm. Well, being from Louisiana, you didn't need the permit to buy a gun, and you didn't need a permit to carry one. Carry that shield on you, yeah. So then Iowa finally got away. They got constitutional carry, but I still choose to get my concealed carry permit because I don't know where I'm gonna go. Nah, we don't need to be joining no. Oh man, I can't call it Jason just in here. Drinking my ocean spray. It's drink day. Out of my Guanajuato mug. This was a gift to me from somebody from one of the people that subbed to the channel. Like I said, you guys and girls, I hope I do a decent job of just sending y'all where to look or getting people interested in making sure that they staying protected. I love the shooting. It's warming up back out there now. Hopefully I can get a chance to get out there and do some shooting. But I like to take this time to thank everybody for tuning in. But I like to also take this time to try and keep everybody on what's going on and to watch how we watching different places with their gun laws and what I'm working on. So it's an uphill battle. But I have went to some people, like I said. I've talked to some people this week. I'm working on trying to get some other politicians together from other states and try and do like maybe a Zoom or conference call with them. And we can start getting national reciprocity through first. This is my personal opinion. If we can get national reciprocity locked in, that's going to be step one. Then everything else we'll be able to get through. National reciprocity and the ability to buy a firearm in any state of our choosing without having to have it shipped to us. Like I said, if you go and visit Nevada and you see something you want to buy there, you can buy that gun there and not have to have it shipped to you and go through all the FFL stuff and pay more money. You can buy it right then and there. Just like you can buy a car anywhere in the country and drive off with it. We want the same thing for firearms. You can shop, you can do everything in this country. Well, we want the same thing for firearms. Just like we want our concealed carry permits recognized in all 50 states, like our driver's license. If I have the right to drive in your state, I should have the right to carry in your state also. And lastly, these magazine capacities. That is going to be the hardest one because it's the one that they still have the most leverage with. But it can be done on a federal level. So I think if we do it in those 3 orders, we can get it through. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion on how we can get this done. I just wanted to give everybody an update. Like I said, it came across my feed that this guy is possibly gonna lose his freedom for defending property. Like I said, the state of Missouri says you can't defend property under no circumstance. So do with that what you may. Uh, you also have to understand. Okay. You also have to understand that the criminals watch these channels and they evolve. We gotta evolve with them. That's why they ain't coming 1 and 2 car to the car no more. They coming 3 and 4 cars deep, and they coming breaking in cars looking for guns so they can go do other shit. Yeah, that's BS too. Yeah, that's BS that you got to go through a FFL to get it. I mean, just so make you jump through so many hoops, man. And at the end of the day, look, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of these organizations are not pro Second Amendment. They're pro Second Amendment specifically for them. But hold on. Sorry about that. A lot of these organizations are not pro Second Amendment. They believe in the Second Amendment as long as it's convenient. The Second Amendment should be for everybody. It's just that simple. I don't have to agree with you in your politics to say that you should be able to be legally harmed. And that is a big problem that we have in this country. But rather than just being able to talk about it, as I told you guys and girls, I'm working on trying to make these 3 things happen. If I can get number 1 and number 2, number 3 will be something that I can fight with. But national reciprocity is number 1. That's got to be the number 1 thing. Just because if we can get that through, that opens up the door for everything else. So, with that being said, I appreciate everybody tuning in to this pop-up live stream. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed it. If you catch us on the replay, make sure you get... No. I don't agree with... What? Since you asked the question, no, I don't agree with that. It's our constitutional right to bring guns to protest. So I don't want to hear nothing about, well, we shouldn't bring a gun to a protest. I don't agree with that. I know he was talking out the side of his ass, him and that dummy Cash Patel, only because this protest against ICE. If this was somebody that went to a BLM protest to go do some damage, they'd be praising the person. So they'd be talking about the cops need to be locked up for that. So I don't want to hear, no, I don't believe in that. It's already our right. I believe it's too late. You know what? Usually, that's a good question. I had been trying to work out a schedule to do lives on Saturdays or maybe Sundays. Sometime during the week, I do what's called Midday Mania, Midnight Madness. I don't know. I was thinking about once I finished getting a couple other things going, trying to set up something where I got a consistent time on doing live streams. I'll just have to see because of what I do for a living. It's kind of hard to give a certain time. This was a pop-up broadcast, a pop-up live stream. Usually I post on my community tab ahead of time so people can know. Sometime I'll do it the day before. Sometime I'll do it a couple hours before I'm going to go live. This one was just kind of impromptu. And I decided I just go ahead on and get on this one. I was going to film it. And that's like doing midday. You know what? Midday Mania on Sundays is probably I get more people on the replay than I do the actual, because around that time most people in church. Yeah, but I'll say it like this. I try not to live stream when other people live streaming, although I know it's so many of us and it happens, if I've already seen people that I channel with or what have you, I try not to live stream during certain people's streams, but it just depends, you know. Like I said, this happened to be a pop up. I got the opportunity. I was gonna go out and do a little bit of shooting. Then I was like, I'm gonna just film this video about this Missouri thing, and then I said, well, let me just go ahead and do a live stream. Oh yeah, somebody trolling. You know that. You know that. Yeah, I say this. If people ain't trolling, you ain't doing your job. You know what? That might be that might be a good thing. No Monday Night Football. Yeah, I might do. I just might do something tomorrow, Monday night, if I'm available. Just might. Yeah, cause all that wrestling and shit, I don't watch that shit no more. And you're right. You know what? I don't have a problem with you having a counter opinion. I really don't. To the person that's in the sticky time, I don't have a problem with you having a counter opinion. But if you ask a question and we have a discussion, that's fine. Some of the things you said when you came in here like a troll. But if you have a counter opinion, look, that's why we have these discussions. I always say, if you don't agree with what you hear here, be respectful. Okay, well, maybe one of these days, when I got some time and you got some time, maybe we can have a discussion. Maybe you against the Second Amendment and I'm for it. That's fine. I'm going to do like I always say. All I ask is that you be respectful, because I'm going to be respectful. Where everybody don't agree, there's people that love this channel that tell me flat out, I don't agree with everything you say, and I'm okay with that. I got my ass chewed, and rightfully so, because I made the statement about not making a big deal about some of these assault weapon bans and stuff, or giving an inch on something. And a couple of people jumped up my ass about that, which I had to tell them they had to go back to that live stream, because later in that stream I had apologized for saying that, because I know you get these people and you take them out. But I was okay with that. You don't always have to agree with what you hear here, and you must be either you not pro Second Amendment. Yeah, either you not pro Second Amendment, or you one of them people that believe in the Second Amendment with an asterisk next to it. It's one of the two. And that's fine. Maybe one day we'll have a discussion about it, but not today. We've been on here just about an hour, so you know what? I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to try and set something up for Monday night. Somebody might have to remind me. But I'm going to try and set something up for Monday night. Since Monday Night Football ain't on, that might be a good time, you know. Because about 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock. Usually, like I said, when I do late in the evening or night streams, more people tune in. Yeah, I'm going to try that out. I'm going to see if I can work that out as a Monday schedule going forward. We'll see. Like I said, I haven't really given a schedule just because my personal schedule be so kind of iffy. But I'm going to try and set that up where Mondays around 7 or 8 o'clock, I can do some kind of a live stream. But still stay tuned. I'm going to still always drop videos. I'm going to still be doing Midnight Madness and Midday Mania. I'll just see how everything go. But with that being said, before we get out of here, I want everybody to listen real close to what I'm going to tell you. There's going to be a lot of people out partying tonight and tomorrow. People are going to be drinking. If you're going to drink, drink responsibly. Find you a ride home. If you going to be out on the roads, when the light turns red or the light turns green for you to go, give it a couple of extra seconds. I want everybody to arrive alive. Unfortunately, we're gonna have people out there that's gonna be drinking and driving no matter what. I want make sure you arrive alive. If you got to be on the roads tomorrow, you know it's gonna be Super Bowl time. It's gonna be a lot of drunk people. With that being said, everybody, I appreciate y'all tuning in to this unscheduled impromptu live. Without you guys and girls, I'd be just a screaming maniac. Until next time, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high alert.